So there is an epidemic in the United States of America, especially if you live in like small town, suburban America, like I do. You'll already know what I'm talking about. There is a certain subtype of man. There's a genre of guy out there right now. You've met him, you've seen him, you fucking hate him. It's the shaved head, wraparound sunglasses, overweight, goatee guy. Probably drives a truck, probably a lifted truck. Says things like, fuck around and find out. Or, suck it up, buttercup. Or, shit, what's the other one? What's another one they say? Play stupid games. Win stupid prize. You know who I'm talking about. The guy, he thinks fucking the Disturbed cover of Sound of Silence is like the greatest piece of music of all fucking time. He ruins your local bars. He's a fucking douche. There's tons. Where I live, there are tons of these people. Tons of them. I hate them. Everybody does. They're fucking just barely alive. Like, they're just barely conscious people, you know? And I think, honestly, the root cause of these fucking things, these pests, is Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Attitude Era of professional wrestling. I don't think there were these guys really before that, and I think Stone Cold had inadvertently tainted an entire generation of men my age. Because these guys, there's an epidemic right now in this country for real of fatherless homes. That's serious. That's a real. This video is kind of a joke, but that's a real thing. And so guys without dads will look to external sources for a surrogate father, basically, like a concept of masculinity that they can kind of attach themselves to because they don't have one, and that's like a big thing, you know. You see it all the time now. Like there's like internet personalities that young men will glom onto as like a surrogate father. Like me. Like a lot of men do that with me. They do that with my YouTube videos. I get it. I'm super parental and super mask. I'm a badass, manly man. But no, for real. So a lot of young boys in like the '90s and the late '80s did this with Stone Cold Steve Austin because they didn't have dads. You know, they say there's that fucking cliche: weak men create hard times, and hard times create strong men. There's a weak man to strong man pipeline. That's not true. Weak men create weak men. It's a fucking cycle. If you don't have a good dad, it's hard for you to be a good man or whatever because you don't have a good concept of what masculinity is, and that's really important. So a lot of these kids, they grew up watching Stone Cold Steve Austin slam two beers together and, you know, give me a hell yeah, skull yeah, brother. And they kind of just became that. Like a really impotent version of it. And then, you know, food's getting pumped full of hormones and shit. And so many people there's an obesity epidemic, which again that's not a joke, that's real. So these dudes their hormones are all out of whack. So it's like this weird, whiny, effeminate, I've never worked a day in my life version of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then they're just running around everywhere. You guys have noticed this, right? It's like they're a problem. And you know what? I'm not even talking shit about, like, I grew up with pro wrestling. I'm a big fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I loved him when I was a kid. True story. When I was little, probably like 6 or so years old, I was in the woods near my parents' house, and I found like a 6-pack of like really crappy like malt liquor, you know, like Natural Ice or something like that. And I was so impressionable at the time that out of instinct I grabbed 2 of these and smashed them over my head and chugged them like Stone Cold Steve Austin because I was a big fan as a little kid, and that was the first time I ever had a taste of beer. That's a true story. So I'm not talking shit about Stone Cold Steve Austin or the WWF or any pro wrestling or any pro wrestling fans. That's your whatever, you know, that's fine. But I'm just saying there are these guys who their whole life is this like, yeah, like Disturbed 5-finger death punch thing. because they don't understand what being a man is. You know what I mean? And I hate them. I don't know. That's all I wanted to talk about. I didn't really have a point. I just fucking hate those guys, dude. I really hate. I hate working with them. I hate being around them. I hate being in traffic near them. They're just the worst fucking group of people. Um, that's really it.